Hey guys, I am finally here to bring you our third grade recommended reading list of sorts. So when I say of sorts, what I mean is this is the list of books that I am going to be recommending to my son to read this year. I have not read all of these. I'm hoping they're good, but I feel like these ones will be good for his reading level. I find that his reading level is not quite where his interest level necessarily is for books, so he listens to a lot of audiobooks, and I do have plans in the next couple of weeks for him to come on, possibly next week, and share his favorite books of all time. Then I think you'll get a lot more recommendations for books that are a little bit more on the harder to read scale, a lot more middle grade books. These ones are a little bit more in kind of like the easy reader, like chapter books that are just like a little bit easier than kind of your average middle grade books. A few of these I have read before, a few of them I haven't. He generally tends to like mystery and anything funny, and a little bit of fantasy. So I think I've really stuck with that for this stack of books, and so I have 13 that I want to share with you. The first one is one that I have not read, but I would really like to. It's the Woolstonecraft Detective Agency. Book one is called The Case of the Missing Moonstone. So this is kind of like historical fiction mystery, because you have Ada Byron, who is Ada Lovelace, and Mary Godwin, who is, why do I forget? Right, Mary Shelley, the science fiction author. So this is them as kids, and they are solving mysteries of some sort. I haven't read any of the series, but I would like to, like I said. The font size is, I would say, like fairly average kind of for this age. So like I said, I'm not putting these in any particular order for this video, but I think this will be kind of like maybe the middle of the school year he will be reading this. Then I have The Secret of the Hidden Scrolls. Book one is called The Beginning. This is kind of like Magic Treehouse, but it's a Christian version. This first one is Creation, and the font is fairly large, so I would say this one is kind of like for the beginning of this school year. Yeah, we only own book one in this series, but if he enjoys it, I will get more from the library. Kind of while I'm talking about books, last year, I think was it maybe November, we did a reading challenge, and my kids, maybe it was, I don't remember what month it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My kids did so good during that reading challenge. What we did is I had to read 15 minutes a day, or no, it's my own reading challenge, you guys. We had 4 different prompts, and you had to pick books to fit those prompts, and I got my kids to read for at least 15 minutes a day to work on those books. We are going to definitely be doing that again this year. I'm thinking of doing one in September, one in November, one in January, and one in March. And I'm going to also have a giveaway for an Amazon gift card to one lucky person who has joined the reading challenge, so that they can maybe buy some books with that money. Anyway, that was kind of off topic, but definitely watch for a video announcement in the future. When we did it last year, my kids came up with the different prompts, and they had a lot of fun with that, so I think I'll sit down with them and get them to brainstorm a few ideas for that again. Okay, this next one I heard from Abby over at Bear Hill Family when we did our early chapter book recommendations, and this one is Bear Grylls Adventures. I talked about this one in my library haul recently. This one is, I would say, for like the beginning of the school year as well for my son. The font is quite a bit like on the slightly more large size, and there's like pictures, and this is supposed to be just like, you know, Bear Grylls' kind of outdoor adventures. So I'm curious to see what he thinks of this series. I always like it when we can find a series that my kids like, because then, you know, you've got at least like 10 plus books that they can continue in when they find something they really like. This one is The Dead Sea Squirrels. I keep talking about this book in my videos, and we still haven't read it. This is definitely beginning of the school year. This might be the very first book I get him to read, because there's quite a bit for pictures. The font is quite large. And yeah, so this is by the co-creator of Veggie Tales. I don't really know where this is gonna go. This is book 1, Squirreled Away. I'm very curious about this one. This one I shared in my early reader video. There's some kind of like tractor outside with really squeaky brakes. This is the Canadian Flyer series. We own a few of them. This one is Crazy for Gold. I hope that squeakiness isn't coming through. And this would be closer to the beginning of the year as well. It's very much like Magic Treehouse, but Canadian history stuff in there. This one is about the Klondike Gold Rush. And then speaking of Magic Treehouse, he has read a couple of these in the past, and I would like to get him to read more. His historical fiction stuff isn't necessarily his favorite, but my daughter has learned so much history from these books over the years. Like, the girl knows more history than I do, and it is 90% because of Magic Treehouse, and the other 10% is from other like historical fiction kind of books where you join in on this adventure and learn about history that way. So I'm going to kind of pick out the ones that maybe I think will be more interesting to him and get him to read those. So the point that we're at right now at the beginning of the school year is he's going to be reading these aloud to me, which is probably why his reading hasn't advanced as much as it probably could have. I've been finding it hard to find dedicated time to sit down and get him to read, especially when he's not like super keen on doing it either. So I definitely want to make sure that we do a good job of that, especially in these first few months, and then hopefully he can be at the point where it's easy enough to read his chapter books on his own that he'll do that without me prompting him to. Okay, and then this one is not my favorite, but I'm going to get him to read the original Flat Stanley because this has got really big words. Also beginning of the school year, lots of pictures. And then there are other Flat Stanley books if he enjoys it. I'm not sure. None of us were really impressed with our, I think we read the African Adventure one. It wasn't super awesome, but sometimes you just need exposure to, you know, more words, more reading before it really clicks, and then you can go on to books that you enjoy. Okay, I am excited about this one because I've been trying to remember what the series was even called, and then I found it on Book Outlet. And this is Wally Mcdougall's My Life as a Bigfoot Breath Mint by Bill Myers. So the font is quite a bit smaller than the other books on this list. Or at least, yeah, probably all of them. And there are no pictures. But I remember this series, like look at this cover. I remember this series being in my Christian school library. And it's just wild and wacky. Look out, California, here comes Wally Mcdougall. Our boy Blunder gets his big break to star with his Uncle Max in the famous Fantissimo World Stunt Show. Unlike his father, who Wally secretly suspects to be a major loser, Uncle Max is everything Wally belongs to. Belongs to be. Yeah, I can read. They're just silly books, and he loves laughing when he reads, so I think he'll like this. This is just randomly book number 12. Like I said, it's probably a little bit above his reading level, or at least the chapters are, oh, actually they're not that long. Well, they're like 10-ish pages on this small font, and so I don't want to overwhelm him. So we probably won't start with this one, but I am excited once we get to this because from what I remember of the series, I mean, it's been many years, I think he'll enjoy it and probably want to continue reading more books in this series. This is one that I totally forgot to mention in my early reader chapter books video, and that is the Race the Wild series. My daughter read this one. We have Rainforest Relay, which happens to be book 1, and it's kind of like Magic Treehouse in the form of geography instead of history, I think. They're racing around the world. I've actually never read it, but my daughter, I remember her reading a few of them and liking it. The font size is, I don't know, maybe kind of average, maybe a little bit on the big side. And there's not much for pictures, but they have some like different little creature features throughout here. Oh yeah, oh no, there's pictures. Where'd it go? I saw one. Yeah, so there's like a full page illustration. Not as many pictures as some, but quite a few creature features. So I'm excited to get him to try this series. Honestly, not all these books are very like wonderful pieces of literature, but I just want my kids to like to read and have it come easily and naturally so that they choose to read. So I also have Geronimo Stilton on here. This is the Cave Mice series, Shoe Cave Flies, and Geronimo Stilton is interesting because they've got the kind of some of the prompts in the words. Sometimes I feel like you can kind of guess what the words are based on how they have the font that they've chosen and stuff. But I think it also makes it fun for kids to read. There's definitely a lot of like bigger words in here as far as like ease of reading. But I know my son likes to listen to Geronimo Stilton books, so hopefully he'll like this. And there are like big illustrations and lots of noises and things happening that are kind of up a boy's alley. So that's another one. And then we have Investigators. I think I mentioned this one. This one is a graphic novel. I can't remember if I mentioned this in our easy reader video or not. It is very easy. My only problem is graphic novels can be hard for kids because they can get distracted by all the pictures and not remember where they are in their reading. But if we were reading it together, maybe this would be a good one. And then there's the whole Bad Guy series. This is also graphic novel, not very many words. This would be a good one for the beginning of the year, I think. And it's silly. One book I actually don't have here is like the whole Dogman series. I think he would probably like that as well, but we don't own those and I don't have those out right now. And then this is the one that I said the incorrect title on our easy reader video, Dark Shadows. I said The Trouble with Chickens because that is a different book, but this is The Chicken Squad. This one is Yes, Another Misadventure. I don't know if there's an order. Book number 1 was The Chicken Squad, and these, oh, this might be our first one. The font is huge, but it's set up in chapter format, so they have that feeling like they're reading a chapter book. I mean, it is a chapter book, but it's a fast chapter book, and I just want to give a lot of success at the beginning. Just trying to see how many pages one chapter is. Starts on 9, goes to 15. Okay, so these are really short. I think this will probably be our very first one of the year then. And once again, it's a series, so if he likes it and he needs more kind of like on this level, we will get some more out from the library. So there we go. That is the books that I am recommending to my 3rd grader. It's not the end of the world if he doesn't get to all of them. They're just books I think he'll enjoy. Actually, kind of like a bonus one would be maybe to get more of the 3rd grade detective series from the library. We own books 1 and 2, but we've read those, so maybe check out more of those. If you have more ideas, let me know. Also, if you want more ideas kind of on this reading level, check out the early chapter book video and check out Abby's as well. And also check out the comments on those videos, loud truck, because some people have left some great recommendations there as well. So thanks again for watching, guys.